everyone, and welcome to UniTea Live. We are so excited today to celebrate this divine goddess, HaRuKo Blue Star Child, and we are going to really get into some activating light and sound codes through her divine beauty and grace of her voice, and also her profound light codes and art that she brings through. So welcome, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited and I'm so honored to be with you all today.
Yes, it's such a divine treat to have you here. My heart is feeling so expansive, so filled with joy. And we're going to be talking about and exploring so many things today. And one of the topics is really becoming a dream creator, which, you know, for me, that invokes this feeling of really allowing creative expression to flow through, allowing that source energy just to flow through us. And you're such an embodiment and beautiful example of allowing your creativity to flow. So I just want to honor you and welcome you. It's so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. So I got so excited that we kind of skipped our general way of flowing in. Do we want to dive a little bit more into the introduction to properly and most adequately share and express HaRuKo?
Absolutely. There is lots to share. And I just want to mention for all of you joining for the first time, welcome to everyone who is here with us live, and for those who are listening to the recording, please feel free to share in the chat, and if you have questions, please drop those in as well. We'll try to get to all of those throughout our time together today. But yes, HaRuKo Blue Star Child was born in Japan. She is a multi-dimensional artist, musician, and author. Following her heart's calling, she came to America in 1987, and in 1999, she started to receive and express the gift from Source through drawings guided by Angelic Rabbit-like Light Beings who became like her, a way shower and teacher to the multidimensional worlds. She discovered her deep heart desire, which is to deliver love and inspiration from the heart of our Creator Source through her art. Her deep joy led to channeling multidimensional light codes, divine feminine sacred geometries, and blueprints of New Earth in her free-hand large-scale drawings. And HaRuKo has a gallery in Mount Shasta, California, which is a multi-dimensional portal and sacred temple where people can be activated, aligned, inspired, and feel home by source light at the deep soul level. She offers sound transmission sessions for private groups in her gallery and also creates soul essence portraits for individuals, as well as offering private soul guidance sessions. Wow.
I feel like I just got an activation just hearing this.
Truly magical. Welcome again. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I know we were able to share a little bit about your journey here, and lots of the different layers of what's brought you to this now moment and your service. And but is there anything additionally that you feel called to share in this now moment about the journey and this now moment in time, and what you feel like is sort of most on the forefront of your heart?
Let's see. Just keep playing. These times it's very intense, and many of us feeling the intensity, and we've been having the snowstorm in Mount Shasta, and I can feel not only the snowstorm, with the wind, and clarification from the snow, purifying the land and energy of the whole, whole level within us and outside of us. And it's really easy to just get, kind of get closed up and get tight. The body gets tight in the coldness, and forget to move and forget to be flexible and forget to bring the warmth within. So for me, it's wintertime is not very easy, but to bring the fire within and passion within, the life force within, and to witness and make that happen and keep moving. And and within this period of time of like deep emotional cleansing, I have to always have to be playing. And fortunately, I was receiving a lot of commission work, so I get to play a lot more. Like I'm forced to, like my spirit is like, okay, do this commission work. And I received some commission work to feel the land and bring the elementals and all these amazing fun beings who are working on the land, and to be able to describe it through the drawing and feel it, then I can feel that connection with the life force, the passion of life, and also the importance of tuning into that sort of like the dream state, but grounded dream state with the Mother Earth, that we are really co-creating this beautiful land. Even though we may not see it or feel it, it's within us. And so be in touch with that and trust in it and being in that world and make that world alive. That's so important for me right now. And in the world as well, just keep that alive, because that's where we really gonna, we are creating the future. And now, of course, everything starts from now. So keep that world going, as much as you can.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. And when you say playing, there's so many different ways to participate in that, right? And I know for you, it's through lots of things. And one of the things we're celebrating today is through your art and your sound codes, and and the light codes, and we can go outside and play as well, right? And do snow angels. We're here in Florida. I don't know, not swim. I don't know, go out and walk, and do so. To invoke that connection, like you're saying, that connection to our deeper levels of self-awareness, self-realization, but also into the deeper connection with the earth and Gaia. And I love that you bring that up, because there is such a calling for that. There always has been, but there's this real reunion, I feel like, taking place with the all the different layers and levels of the earth light collectives and elements and tree collectives. And you can just feel it when you're outside, and there's this whole new level of vibrancy expressing itself. And to your sharing, I feel like it's really being catalyzed by all of us showing up uniquely in our own way of participation, and and releasing the denser emotions and thought programs and belief systems, etc. So the play and the invitation to play is always heard and graciously received. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you invite to call upon the elements and really connect with them. And, I love all the elements, but I feel like fire is such a fun, energy, playful and movement. And especially during winter time, such a great element to really call upon and connect to. It's interesting. I was somewhere this morning and I was speaking with someone, and she was sharing how, as a little girl, she went to dance class and was so excited to dance and really looking forward to it. And her teacher sent her home and, told her like there was no hope, like, just,
Oh.
yeah. And, and Probably many of us maybe have a story or experience like this where like creative expression was maybe like stifled or shut
Mm-hmm.
down.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like loving to sing songs when I was like a little girl, and so I'm curious for you and your journey. Like, what was it like for you? Have you always played instruments? Have you always been free to express creatively, or is it something that you really cultivated throughout your life?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. I love that question. So I let's see. I always loved the music, and I kept one thing that I loved was the recorder, the plastic flute, and I loved that. I practiced piano, but the teacher was so strict, and I just end up hating the piano. So, but I kept the flute part, kept what I really loved, and made it maybe more like a secret in a way, and um, just you know it just popped up every time I go somewhere. In high school I played clarinet because I wanted to, so um, wherever the opportunity presents, I try to keep it up, but not because I wanted to try to keep it up, but just because it was just my genuine desire. So yeah, one step at a time, every time I see something. A Native American flute was I discovered when I was in powwow in somewhere in Bay Area in California, and I found this little shop where there were, he was selling the flute, and oh, that sounds good, I want to purchase it, and that was the discovery of the Native American flute. And so, during that course of life, I encountered and just took opportunity. And yeah, there was, moment that people tried to stop, like teacher, say something, it's just typical thing, right? To be discouraged, to be creative and expressive. Um, so many of the part, like a drawing, was very secret too, because I went to a Catholic school, only private Catholic school, the most boring place in the world. And to be honest with you, I felt like that Catholic school environment trained me to keep my secret world, because in if I don't have it, I couldn't survive. And during that class time, it's so boring that either I fall in sleep or doodle. So I was doodling, so that was something that, was trained in a Catholic school, to keep my world and keep the channel in a way, to connect with that world constantly so I can survive in that environment. So it was kind of like that, during the lifetime. And yeah, I just kept on going. And but it was not really something that I tried to be professional about or tried to be, good at and to share. It was more like how I could really, maintain, myself to be on the earth, I guess, to feel a little more comfortable, um, to be here. So that's what I feel, after looking back, like, oh, I was creating my world in my own way, so that I can feel connection with the world and sense of, I guess, some kind of purpose of being here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so beautiful. And now here you are today as this radiant beacon of light and bringing through the divine feminine sound codes and frequencies of which are all here, through my lens of perception to really open up and dissolve all the systems of limitation within creation and creator self, right? To open
Mm-hmm.
up that eternal womb center, creator center, and come back into that playful movement and sound and creation and without limitation. So I love that your journey shows how that, curated to this now moment, basically, where it was like, okay, you're going to keep it going. You're going to find your own space and way of facilitating and hosting and keeping that creative flame stoked. And now, we get to this point in time where you can share it with everyone and come out of it being a secret and into greater expression. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the things that excites me the most about us really moving into the age of Aquarius. It feels as though it's really an opportunity for each of us to embrace our own individuality and really, just let go of conformity and really embrace our own unique gifts and creativity, and how to use that really to be of benefit to the collective, to the greater of humanity and beyond. And you are such a way share of that. And it's interesting, like, sometimes I will connect with people that feel like I'm not creative, like I can't draw, or I can't play an instrument or something like this. And I'm just curious, like, what advice you would have for those that are really wanting to connect more with their creativity.
Right. Well, so yeah, many of us got shut down from the teachers and parents, and also our own program of like try to be perfect, and also we have this pre-concept of how the art should look like, or how the music should sound like. And so really getting back to, like, as far as you can go back to, like, maybe in the kindergarten time. And I always say that to people, how do you remember how you were in kindergarten time when you were like maybe drawing a little strawberry or apple, and just like really, free, whatever that is. And but it's not perfect circle or perfect apple looking, but the kids are like, oh, my, mom, I did the apple, and then share to your siblings or friends. And that time, we need to get back to that time. And but to break away from the perfection, I always I used to have the offer class for grown-ups to be playful, like kindergarten. And many of us are right-handed, some of us are left-handed, or maybe maybe someone can draw with the both hands. But me, I am right-handed, and I cannot do so much on the left hand. So many of us are kind of in that case, and then so we draw with the left hand. And so we, okay, do the apple. And so, in the beginning, they try to control, and but as you do more and more, you kind of let go of the control, because it becomes fun, because it's not perfect anymore, so I keep telling them, it's not about perfection, it's about bringing the feeling, and connect with the apple, or connect with beautiful color of red, and don't even think, and just do it. And so I, one after another, bring like another fruits, another animal that you really love to draw, or your dream house, all that, um how do you say, the subject that I bring, and they start to flow, so and then picking the color, you try to think with head, and don't think, just like pick the color with your intuition. Don't even give like a break to think, just keep flowing. And toward the end of the class, people are just like totally having fun, and they become so focused on the drawing, like the kids, they're just so in their world. And so it is fun to play that way. So bring the playful time like that, give the opportunity to play, or maybe ask your your children to play with, in that way, because they're such a teacher in that. So that would be one suggestion in the artistic way. Music wise, I always tell people, when you are in the car, maybe you're singing along, in that freedom of being in your space, or maybe in the shower room because you feel so good with the warm water and start singing. It is that space, it doesn't matter how, sing. It's more like how you feel and voice that feeling. And more and more you do that, I think more and more the door opens, and the pureness and the joy, the genuine joy opens. Because I feel like we are made of this beautiful light, which has this genuine, beautiful pureness, everyone. And it just, we have so much layer of program and emotional, layers that we need to shed. But once we take off all of that, and there's only this like pure, genuine light, it just shines no matter what. And you don't even need to say like, I want to serve the world or earth, because when you touch that part of us and express it, you are already serving, So many people who are healers, or sound healers or artists, and just do it, don't even think like you're gonna make people happy, or your sound is gonna heal people. It's not the focus. The focus is to really bring that pure state and express it. And that takes sometimes practice, but once you open the door, it gets fun. It's like intimate communication between your little child who wants to express again. And it gets fun. So give that opportunity, that space. That would be a good place to start.
I love that.
Yeah. And even, as you're sharing, I could just feel, and you're moving your hands and, talking in the heart and opening the heart, I could just feel this creative energy and expansion taking place. It was really palpable. And I love that. I love, the confirmation and encouragement to just let go of the perfectionism, let go of, and just allow it to, to flow through the felt sense, through, through our natural rhythm. And I agree, like when, it's the hardest step sometimes is just showing up and first doing it. But then once you do it, and, and we create enough expansion and space to bring all the parts of us, like the inner critic and, and the scared child, and, and all, front and center. And it's just showing up and consistently experiencing and letting go and participating. I love that. Thank you. Yeah. And I love that with the left hand, because that's like an immediate way to surrender, right? It's like, okay, you really, most people cannot have an expectation of what might take place with their left hand in a paintbrush. So
truly, that's such a great point of really letting go of expectations. And one thing that really came up for me as you were sharing is this idea of how healing creativity is. And sometimes we think of different modalities, but I feel like creativity in a sense of just being able to express and explore is so healing in and of itself. And you're really like describing this journey of bringing people into their heart space, out of the thinking mind, which is so powerful.
Right. And I feel that, and I can prove that from how I experienced it through my drawing and music. And sometimes I play my music and my heart is like, and I cry and like, wow, my own voice heal myself, and the drawing, heal myself and activate myself and remember who I am. So we have this gift within. And if you can't really sleep, and if you want to bring really like self-love in you, and record the singing like a lullaby to you, yourself, with wholeheartedness, like singing to your child. If you don't have a child, but you are your own child as well, and sing to that child and record it, and and play that one before you go to sleep, and see what happens.
Oh my gosh, I
That
love
is
it.
an awesome idea. I mean, I totally do.
I'm so curious to ask you about that because I feel like many people have blocks around their voice and around singing.
Mm-hmm.
Even more than like painting or playing an instrument. It's something about the voice being so personal.
Mm-hmm.
And so, have you always sang? And yeah, what would you recommend to really help activate the voice in that way?
Well, just find a place to sing, where you feel safe. So for me, it was shower room. I was just singing in the shower, and the humidity helps to open the throat as well for me, instead of the dry air. Um, oh, just let it, let it out. Even like ugly voice sometimes comes out, and just let it out. One time I was releasing emotions, and so I started from like and then I feeling the emotion, then start crying, or you know uh all kinds of voice comes out, and just observe it and leave that space open. Keep it open, because sometimes we just want to control the voice too. We want to just hear the beautiful voice, right? But especially when you're releasing emotions, like sometimes it comes out. Just let it come out, because those are the ones that suppressed, and so create the safe space, and allow any voice to come out, any emotion to come out, and be intimate and be gentle with ourselves. And yeah, you surprise ourselves. We surprise ourselves. Oh my gosh, I have this voice. Wow, that's amazing. To like, you're like so enjoying and blessed, and all of a sudden, like you hear this like opera singer sound. Like, wow, I didn't know I could hit that high voice. So yeah, it's really fun. It's really crazy. So just have your own space and do that. Mm-hmm.
I love that. You brought me back to this memory of probably 6 or 7 years ago. And I was in the car, and I was probably driving to go pick up my children from school or something of this nature. And I just, the energy that was taking place, for me at that point in time, there's just, as it has continued to do so, there was a lot bubbling up, and I was in this process of, a big pocket of releasing of like old programs and emotions and so forth. And I remember being in the car and just feeling like such a sense of like almost like, a pressure cooker. It was like, bubbling up. And then out of nowhere, I guess some aspect of myself from some simultaneous timeline shows up and was like, just let it out, and, just let it out in sound. And I was like, what? But I did. I just, and to your point, it didn't sound pretty, you know what I mean? Necessarily. Like I wasn't efforting at how it was going to sound. But I basically, as I was driving, I was being shown, give a voice to the energy, and through that sound and that voice, it will release. And so I had my first real sort of relationship or greater understanding and awareness of how alchemizing our sound can be, and how we can utilize our own sound to your point, to move energy, right, to move things out. So I kept doing it, and the sense of euphoria and it really did. It wasn't as though I wasn't still in the process of, receiving the wisdom from the energy and releasing it, but it allowed for it to move more, and be in a more of a flow of movement versus that feeling that I was having of stagnation. And so I find that I like to use my car.
Yeah, car is a really good place,
Yeah,
isn't it?
perfect, right? And then all of a sudden, sometimes I'll forget what I'm doing and I look over and someone's kind of like looking at me. I'm like, oh my gosh, can they hear that? I'm like, oh, well, maybe they needed to hear it. Who knows?
Yeah, eventually you get comfortable with it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, also we get really vulnerable too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
and
And
then
that story, it just brought me back. Actually, this past week I was at a retreat in Guatemala, and it was a music retreat and really beautiful. And one of the workshops, we were sitting around a big circle, and it was a drumming workshop. And so part of the exercise was to go around the circle, and everyone sang the line, and everyone else listened. And it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but it's like really vulnerable when you're not used to singing and you have everyone's eyes on you. And so it came to be my turn, and my voice like totally cracked, and I was, because I was nervous, and but that actually just in and of itself was like liberating. It's like, okay, like, mess up, don't mess up, just express and sing. And it felt so good to, be in that space.
yeah, definitely.
So I'm so curious, becoming a dream creator, because I know you had mentioned when we first connected today and we began sharing of how, and I'm not remembering exactly how you were mentioning it, but for me, it kind of brought about this awareness of as of recently, how simultaneous timelines, we all hear this, right? And sort of like an intellectually understood concept that everything's happening simultaneously, like all timelines, all of our layers of existence as in, a unique individuation are taking place simultaneously. And I feel like with the energies and the things that are taking place right now and catalyzing, there is a much more like palpable interaction with that awareness, and like and it almost presents itself as, or at least of my experience recently, as sort of like what we might consider like a daydream, right? Or previously considered a daydream, but yet it's more present and it feels more, there's like more viscosity almost to its energy. So I'm curious, if you're experiencing this kind of energy as well, and if this at all plays into becoming a dream creator. I'm just so excited to learn more and to hear more about it.
Well, these days it's more like full focus requirements to be in that world. Because so many ways that we have opportunity to be taken away from that world, uh, in my heart space where I feel like everything is in harmony and um, mm, everything is connected in oneness. And if I'm not breathing in that world, it's almost like part of me is dead, and it is okay because I can bring myself back to it, and in that way I can connect with that part of me that is separate from the unity consciousness and oneness. And so this conscious focus and persistent practice became more and more, how do you say, like real requirements, and I don't know how you guys are, creating your day life, but for me is, really focusing in that world and making it real by drawing it and then feeling the world and singing it. That way I can feel the vibration of that world. So I can only share my experience these days, and just that intensity, super push to be in this space and create it in this now moment, every moment, and be aware, be observing. It's becoming more and more intensified. So I don't know if I answered your questions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Do you feel like it's, in that place of of connection with present moment and using the, or participating in the sound and the drawing and the create is part of taking this vision and higher sort of connection and desire and expression of life and bringing it into physical reality? Is that sort of what I'm gathering from what you're sharing?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I can feel that, that new earth grid, crystalline grid. I like to tune in because then I can really feel like I'm grounded. And that crystalline new grid is really solidifying even more so. And the higher realms, support is really, really coming in more and more, as we all, in oneness, creating this, uh, how do you say, healing, letting go the old program. We all are doing this because we are all portal, we are all holding this light as a ground crew, and more and more of us are consciously doing that. Then, it really proves that we are really doing it because the energy of the support from the higher realm, the higher frequency, light realm from different dimensions are really coming in more deeply. That's what I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is that like? The experience, we were chatting about this a little bit before we started recording, but just you being in Mount Shasta and the energies there and how you're, connecting and bringing those through in your transmissions of artwork.
Well, makes me focus more. My intention is, always to be aligned with portal energy here in Mount Shasta area, and may my presence and my expression, my being, be in the highest, aligned with the highest purpose on the earth, and that's my prayer. And once I focus in that, and it feels really grounded, you know. And it doesn't matter. You don't need to be in Mount Shasta or anywhere. Just focus in the heart of the earth. It's just that some areas have a little more high potency, I guess, in the frequency. But we are beyond time and space too. So deeply focused to connect and merge with the heart of creator and heart of Mother Earth, and just breathing the space. And no matter where you are, I trust that in every layer of a being, try to respond to that intention and bring that into daily life. Whatever you do, you don't need to do art or music, cooking too, playing with kids or cleaning house, anything. It's divine. Everything is sacred, So,
Yeah, love that.
I know. I feel like every time you go into a deeper transmission of expression, I'm like,
You have such calming, peaceful, blissful
I know.
energy.
It's like I don't even need to record my own lullaby. I'm just going to play this transmission back. I'll just listen to this before bedtime.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so soothing and expansive. And I love how you share, because it's so true. Yes, it's beautiful. And when we get called to go to a specific geographic location and travel, there's something so wonderful about that. That's one of the reasons why we came to incarnate here and have the physical experience and the whole, journey of, traveling, in physical form from point A to point B. And yet, to your sharing and higher wisdom is that we can connect. We can go into our 0 point, our eternal heart center, and bring ourselves energetically into deep connection, in the quantum field with a particular location and space, and anytime we desire. And I feel like one of the things I was receiving as you were sharing is, in this really omnipotent time that we're in, the more we choose to do that and we trust in that and we allow our hearts to open into that and express that way, the more we end up really activating higher levels of our divine technology, such as by location, and have an even greater and more palpable system of traveling without physically traveling. And so that's really exciting and encouraging. So thank you for bringing that through.
Thank you.
Yeah, speaking of, the energies of this time and so much transformation taking place, one question that's coming through is, around this idea of letting go of earlier versions of ourselves, whether it's a relationship changing form, or moving, or something like this. It's like those are experiences that are very real at this time. So just wondering if you have any advice or wisdom to share.
Yeah, of course. It's funny because I experienced all of that almost, in the past couple months. I moved the residence to different location, and I ended the relationship. And for me, the big part is really to love and appreciate everything that I created as I experience. There's so much that I can regret, so much that I didn't do well, so much that I didn't say in the moment, all of that. And also the deep loneliness again, for departing from, someone who's familiar, departing from somewhere, you used to feel comfortable, and create your own space again. And so much love and support to ourselves, to myself, was so needed. And so much forgiveness of the past. Not that I did do something wrong, or it was a peaceful depart, so that was good. But still, since it was so peaceful, that there's so much part of me that missed that comfort. So it was a different experience this time. And but to really really love and let go the past is just to really gain the wisdom, not only the wisdom, but to really recognize how much love there was, regardless of how it looked like or feel like. And no matter how lonely you feel, it is really the opportunity, the loving opportunity that I'm giving to myself to find a deeper connection with myself, and deeper connection to invisible ones, because many of us, the light workers, sometimes we can't really find deep family connection with the people around. And so, not to escape from the daily, everyday life, but to really reconnect with a spiritual family, the invisible ones, is also important, because they are as real as the visible ones. And so I'm still in the process of that, metamorphosis, and deeper reconnection with myself, and with invisible ones, as well as really collecting all the memories and all the past, feelings or emotions that I left out, and just gather them and nurture them and love them and appreciate them, and bringing into the heart, and be able to let it go, And that's such a graceful experience to go through, and that way we can have bigger understanding and deeper compassion, and also new spark of light, new spark of fire, new spark of passion for life, and new passion for self-love, self-care, and creating something new, anticipate like a child again, it's all brand new, you know, and what can I do? And in this big surrender, knowing that everything is all love, then, you're safe, and you're supported, and you will know what to do next, So,
Mhm.
yeah.
What a graceful way to navigate through change and alchemy and expansion. Spoken
Mm-hmm.
like a true divine feminine master being. And I love that. It really touched my heart to hear how you were sharing, to move beyond some of the characters and roles maybe that, were on the forefront of participation in a given relationship, to the higher lens of perception, to know and to remember through all of it, right? Through all the different interactions and experiences and, plays that took place within the relationship is, there's a deep honoring, right? There's a deep honoring of ourselves and our participation, them and their participation, who they are, the layers and unique layers and of love that was exchanged and expressed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah, that really touched me in a beautiful way. Thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for.
Right. And really to, understand that use the duality in a higher perspective. And, if you have a heavy emotions and so much pain, it's difficult to really, understand that. But more and more you shed the heavy emotions and, open the heart. And, the higher dimensional being says, there's no, the dark and light work together to expand and move and change. And you start to really understand that that the harmony, between the dark and light, or it's just there's no separation. It's just they work together to bring us into uh, higher understanding and deeper understanding, higher and deeper understanding. And that way, I feel that that's the process of really ascension, to really create that space in our heart, to include everything and create the harmony within.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
have any daily practices or rituals that are, non-negotiables that kind of you weave into your day?
Mm. The meditation, the quietness. Create the quiet space and sit, and that's about it. Going to the nature, and just be still, and whatever comes up to, just witness and be gentle with it. And there are so many, approach. Every day is different. You can approach like a child, you can approach like a mother, you can approach like father. um, it's different play role that, I create and bring myself in the space of peace. And if I can't, that's okay too. Then I go with it, and discover what it's going to show up, so I can, learn from it, or I can get the perspective of, okay, I was, sometimes if you're really programmed in something, you can't really notice until you are, be able to observe it and find out, oh, I was there, then I can, transform that, and then there's more forgiveness in a way, more compassion to ourselves, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
HaRuKo, that relates to a question that came through on in the chat, which is around an inner child experience,
Mm-hmm.
where something's coming up that seems maybe unhealthy, or an inner child aspect that is causing friction. and how to maybe integrate or be in awareness, like what recommendations you would have around that.
I will talk to the child within and ask what she really, really wants, and just totally 100% be listening with open heart. So there's so much emotion that she may want to share, or maybe she just want to take a bath instead of going to work. Just go for it, whatever she wants, and nurture it. I mean, it's difficult sometimes if you're busy and you're mother of the children and all that, and you have to take care of others. But I always say to those people, just have at least one, you can give 1 hour or 30 minutes or hire babysitter, any way you can, to really find the place where you can really listen to the inner child. And also talking about left hand, journaling the left hand is amazing if you can give yourself opportunity, because especially for me, I gave myself about a month or so of really intimate connection with my inner child, and let her write. And so my writing is like a kindergarten. I can't even write alphabet. It's like backward too sometimes. How kids do the write in the backward way, but just keep on going with it. And right hand, you can do so many fancy things. Explain in so many details and write in a beautiful way, but left hand, you can't really do it. So I'm sad, I'm pissed, I'm so angry, or there's the description, the expression of the words becomes so genuine, because it gets more and more simplified, because you can't really go faster. And then the genuine, honest emotion comes through the words on the journal. And that was, for me, it was very powerful way to connect with the inner child, as well as, maybe giving you a bath or treating you good food, just be gentle, become like the extra, ultra amazing mother that you can be, that you couldn't have, you have to give it to yourself.
What a profound gift you are, and that sharing and level of participation is. I've never ever heard anyone suggest that, and I can just feel the simplicity of it as you're sharing, but also how it really does take you out of the thinking mind, because it's like, okay, the slow processing of the physical writing just leads to a greater place of surrender. It feels like it was almost like I was witnessing either you or someone in a timeline of participation as you were sharing. And I could just feel sort of the layers of the invitation that that exists within that activity, that practice or ritual.
Yeah, it's very, very precious.
Yeah. And what, or is there something else?
No, I'm wondering if I can share my a bunny drawings or something like that.
Yes,
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
we did receive a question about your name and the origin of it.
Okay, sure. HaRuKo is a Japanese name, and we use a very complicated characters. And characters consist of symbols, and symbols has a meanings. So HaRuKo has blue, and there's the sun and the child. The ko is the child. So I was asking for artist name, and I was contemplating and looking at my name, and blue, sun child. And the sun is the star in the sky, and blue star child. And something just dinged within my body. It was like confirmation, that you could feel in every level of my body, like, blue star child. So that's my artist name. that was about 20 years ago when I started to draw, and I just wanted to name myself something, And I didn't know anything about anything when I was starting to draw, because I was just drawing rabbit first, and a blue star. Now that we talk about blue star in different way, there are so many explanation or stories around the blue star with Native Americans, or like Syrians has blue star, Pleiadian has a blue star. So what blue star, I don't know, but starting to realize that the frequency of blue star that I feel in my name is kind of like a future Earth. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I was feeling that exactly the same, like this
Mm.
blue plasma field of, sort of like the homecoming of unity, but with like a very palpable expression of the return of the mother, divine mother energy. Like,
Right.
yeah. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many ways of interpretation, but you just, as you were sharing it, I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I got chilled.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the divine mother, the divine feminine is really the huge part of the future Earth, and connection with the nature, in harmony with the nature, because the nature itself is the mother. And we are just realizing that we are part of the mother. Like, really, many of us forgot about it. Like, we are made of this, like, mother in nature. Everything is nature within us. And yeah, to come back to that natural state of being, that is the ascension, isn't it? Remembering the natural way of who we are, a natural way of expressing ourselves, natural way of just being. It's really simple, yet shedding the layers it's sometimes challenging. But yeah, so the rabbit, how I started to draw, and the rabbit, I don't know how, why rabbit came to me, but now I am understanding rabbit is like very fluffy, and nobody would reject that rabbit. So cute. You can't really help opening your heart, like, oh wow, that way they can transmit their love and information. And so and also they're fertiles, fertile. They can birth so many babies. So for me, it's a representation of feminine as well. So in 1999, when I started to draw rabbit, it was just started this way in a very simple line, but there's always rabbit. And so this one is like communicating with, I don't know, some kind of something, but also connecting with a mother earth, feels like. And so I was just having fun, because I felt so much message or story or energy. And that time I started to draw was the time I was getting really bored with the life. Like, I worked, I went to school, I partied, just the regular thing. And I always knew there's something deeper. And the drawing was the open, gateway for me to start experience what I really wanted to experience in my life. So this one is like a light language in a way. It's called Rabbit Family. They're all together in the heart, connected.
Just sweetness.
So this one, I always share. This one was really memorable drawing because she has such a presence. I could feel that there is a bigger presence there, cosmic something, and I almost feel like she was one of my sort of like a portal, for me to get into the cosmic wisdom. So
Yeah, there is such a presence. That's such a perfect way to encompass it. It's just like peace, wisdom, and expansion.
Mhm.
Yeah, wow.
mm, yeah, and feels like she's embracing everything too.
Yeah.
And that's a baby.
Aw.
So, and then it got little more complicated and started to get more geometric things, and also it became more abstract sometimes, and started to draw angels. These are all colored on the computer, usually just very simple pencil drawings on the sketchbook. And this one I felt like Archangel Gabriel, because he takes care of the children.
Hmm.
So in the center is the face. I always have this kind of slanted, like a sleepy face, but they're not sleeping. They're just peaceful.
Beautiful. What-
Archangel Ariel, that's what I felt, and she takes care and work with Mother Earth.
hmm.
They're all so multidimensional.
So it became more layered, with the dimensions. So over the years, started to develop more and more. This one is another angel. She's very loving, gentle, fluffy angel.
Mm, that's really beautiful.
So, started this way and then became more,
Wow.
this one is the larger scale. The earlier one was like 11 by 14 sketchbook, and all of a sudden I felt like I want to do something large. So this one is one of the early one, and it's 40 by 60 inches, and I colored it with a computer because I liked it. But I felt this one is another gateway for me that opened my heart deeper in the level to awaken spiritually. So it's called Dawn of Spiritual Awakening. And now that I, learn a little bit more about, angelic world, and there's different level of angels like Seraphim and Elohim, and this one I felt like seraphim energy because they're really close to the source energy, and they're bringing in through their presence to our heart, deeply into our heart, to really awaken.
Yeah,
I
that's
love,
incredible.
love
Yeah, it feels
so
like
much.
a home, just like a home frequency feel.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So yeah, I can keep on going, but I would love to show the video, one of the video perhaps, and bring the sound too.
Yes,
Yeah.
we would love that.
Mm-hmm.
And are all of these masterpieces of divinity accessible for viewing on your website?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And also the smaller version, like a poster size, are available to purchase and create your own sacred space as well. I have a one room in my gallery that is smaller and have all the artwork on every side of the wall, and they really bring it's like a window, from the dimension wherever that comes from, and create the space, um, like a portal. Geometry, sacred geometry is a portal. So once you have many of them in the house, and in a way that you like, you feel comfortable, or you feel, sacred, and you can create your own portal as well. Along the way, I discovered this. I had no idea what I was doing to now. Like, wow, you know, it's amazing
That's
how,
amazing.
sacred geometry does. And this is one of the soul essence portrait. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to know, in addition to your
Mm-hmm.
gallery, which people can go and visit,
Mm-hmm.
what other offerings and how else might people connect with you?
Sure. Well, winter time, I tend to close the gallery. Like almost feels like the whole month I'm closing this gallery. But there is a way which you can email me or call me and hey, I want to come into your gallery. Can you, be here on this day and on time, what time? Then I can be flexible to, show you privately during the winter time, probably till like the end of March or something like that, because it's very, very slow here. And sometimes there's no one walking on the street. But for the summertime, I have more regular hours, and you can always contact me on my email. You can find me on my website, bluestarchildgallery.com. And also in the summer and autumn time, I offer sound transmission time. And I have a flyer up. I don't really do much advertising. I just have flyer up on the window, and whoever find me, you know they come in, and it's been always such a beautiful organic flow. So sometimes it's hard to find me, but there's a way that you can always look into the window and find my contacts or flyers, what I'm doing. And I try to be more open to sharing on Facebook and on my website. Little by little, I'm training myself to do that.
Yes. You also
Yeah.
have a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I noticed, do you also offer like virtual private sessions? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. My favorite service, not only to do like a larger commission, but to have the individual, intimate, commission, is the soul essence portrait that I have been drawing for about 15 years for people. And, when I discovered that was I was running out of the birthday gift idea. So, I'm just going to do drawing for my friend. And when I was drawing, oh my gosh, I could feel her deeply, more in an expansive way. And it was just exciting to get to know the person. Even though we were friends for many, many years, like I didn't know this part of, her, because that was the beginning of my, drawing journey. I was just discovering different dimensions and, invisible worlds, and so I discovered that everyone is a beautiful spark of light. And when we were created, we were given special, unique design, because we are, sacred geometry basically, right? And I can feel that. And my intention is to bring that feeling, the design in, for us to be supportive for this incarnation.
Hmm.
So that way, this design activate you in some deeper level. You don't really need to understand, because most of my artwork I draw, it's just not possible to understand everything, and it is okay. And it's okay to not to understand, but trusting that in a deeper level, we are receiving some kind of activation or transmission. So, it's a very small, card size, intimate, portrait drawing. But I do that along with, if you want to go deeper with it. And I offer the session for 80 minutes. And I love doing that. And it's just like this, just be open and share, and the words come through in that moment. And always, some deeper wisdom come through, some deeper clearing come through, and it's an amazing, magical time.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, just like now, I just love being here right now. So,
Well, again, we're so grateful and excited too to hear your angelic sound and further see and dive into the portals of your art.
wonderful. I'll play one video. I can do more, but I don't know how much time we can do. I feel like I can feel a lot of goddess and angel energy from both of you. So I'd like to share this one first.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Ooh, yes.
Okay, so this one is called New Angelic Code. And this one, I don't know if you heard about the person who went into Telos and witnessed my art in Telos. Basically, I mean, this one is one of the drawing that was witnessed there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is about 2 minutes, and I'm just gonna share the singing voice and perhaps flute. So I hope you enjoy.
Mhm. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
That was incredible.
Yeah, talk about angel. Your voice is like beyond angelic. Whatever the next tier of divinity is, beyond angelic is your voice.
Yeah.
Oh. You know, people ask me, how do you do that? Because I talk like this, right? Yeah, I
Oh,
don't know. It's just, I tell people, whatever you feel good with, how you sing, and you, that voice becomes healing for yourself. So this is healing to me, and as I heal myself, I heal others, right? And it's just mutual with everyone. So, and this is how we resonate with each other, as we become more and more natural, then we just can't help, uplifting each other and shining their light with each other. And yeah, we are creating this space, and this dream, make it into real more and more with our own presence. So yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity for me to be able to share this way. I can just share forever. So if you like to have another video, so I can do that too.
Oh my goodness, we would love to have another video, but perhaps what we could do is offer to have you come back on again soon, sooner than later.
Please, please.
We would love to continue to celebrate all that's coming through, and just the brilliant being of light that you are.
Oh,
Yeah,
we are just reflections. Thank you so much.
And the portal of the art is incredible. It kept shifting and changing and opening, and things, were moving. And like at one point I blinked my eyes for a second to zoom in more, and it looked like a completely different, drawing. And it was like, wow, there's so much depth, to it. Undoubtedly, it's a living light portal, and
yes,
just a continuum of expression and engagement. So much for everything. I feel so nourished and illuminated from your heart space and wisdom, and I know everyone else is sending similar expressions of gratitude and love, and so we're just really grateful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this has been absolutely incredible. It's just beautiful to connect with your energy, and you emanate so much peace and compassion and love and creativity and beauty, and just so grateful for the
Thank you. I felt so much love and support from you. So it was so wonderful to be here and feeling the love from both of you, and from this space as well, whoever is participating. And thank you so much for being with us.
Yes, thank you everyone for being here. And again, please, I know I don't even have to say this because I'm certain it's already probably in the process of taking place, but connect with HaRuKo on her Blue Star Child.com
or BlueStarChildGallery.com.
Okay, yes, thank you. And open yourselves up even more to all that there is there to explore. So yeah, thank you. Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us. And we look forward to whenever we next connect and meet. And blessings to all.
Yes. Yeah, so looking forward to connecting with you both again.
Yes, likewise. So much love and gratitude.
Thank you.